Hello and welcome to the PMC Q&A. This is episode number 1 and we will be doing these Q&A sessions every month. Now we recently posted on our social media if you had any questions that you want me to take up. We also gave out our email address admin@pmclounge.com in case people wanted to ask questions there via email. So we've received tons of questions, but one thing that we realized is that it is pretty difficult to keep a track of all social media, all YouTube comments, all emails pertaining to Q&A. So from now on, we will be limiting the questions to just YouTube comments. So if you want me to answer your question in the next Q&A session, then your question should be dropped in the comment of this video itself. So the next time we create a Q&A session, we will just look at the comments of this video and answer those in the next Q&A. So we've taken 5 questions for this one. They are the most common ones that we received. Now, I also know that some people want to send a document or a screenshot when they are asking a question, because we received such questions too. If you want to do that, then obviously comments don't work. You can continue to send an email to admin@pmclounge.com if your question cannot be completed with just text and you want to attach documents or images and whatnot. Now, I want to keep these Q&A sessions a bit casual, so please don't mind if I go out on a rant. Please don't mind if my language is a little bit unprofessional, just a little bit. For professionalism, you can always check our other videos out. So, with that being clear, that being said, let's cover the 5 questions that we are taking up today. Question number 1 is, when is the PMP exam changing? Now, I know a lot of people out there have this tense question: when exactly is the PMP exam changing? As of September 2025, nobody in the world knows when the PMP exam is changing. What's happening is this book, PMBOK Guide Edition 7, PMBOK, some people like to call it. This will be replaced with PMBOK Guide Edition 8. So that's what's happening. Now, a lot of people out there are finding these hidden links on Amazon and sharing the date when this PMBOK 8 will be out. But just because PMBOK 8 is out, that does not mean the PMP exam is changing. The PMP exam is based on the exam content outline. It is not based on the PMBOK guide. So even if 7 goes out of the way and 8 comes in, that does not mean that the PMP exam changes. PMP exam will change only when the exam content outline changes. And that is also possible in 2026. It is possible that the exam content outline also changes. Now, even when that happens, PMI typically gives a few months' time, maybe a couple of months. That has been the practice if we look at the past. So, they will give you a couple of months to prepare and let you know in advance when the PMP exam will change. So, it is likely that the exam might change in 2026, but as of right now, the exam is not changing at all. So do not worry about this question of when is the PMP exam changing. If you're preparing for your exam, continue your preparation, and all the best to you. I have made a video 8 years ago when I came first on YouTube, that the exam is based on the exam content outline. A lot of people say that now on YouTube, but for some reason, when the PMBOK guide changes, they fall into the trap of thinking that the PMP exam is also changing. That is not the case. Okay, question number 2. Can I use AI to tailor my resume for the project manager job role? How about the ATS score? So, 2 questions here, right? And I have combined these 2 questions because both of them were related to jobs. So, let's talk about the first question here. Can I use AI to tailor my resume? And this is applicable not just for project manager job role, but for any job role for that matter, right? All that you can do, and this is what a lot of experts and gurus of AI are telling others to do online. And I've seen articles and videos on this. What they say is you can take your resume, be it a Word document or just text or PDF or whatever, just feed it into ChatGPT, take a job description, copy and paste it into ChatGPT, and give a simple prompt, tailor my resume based on this job description. ChatGPT can then spew a resume tailor made for you in 10 seconds. My question to you is, if this is such an expert tip, if this is going to give you such an edge over others, what makes you think others that are applying for this role will not do this 10-second exercise? Everyone is going to do it. And if everyone is going to do it, how do you stand out? And also, how does ChatGPT know more about your unique experiences, your way of writing, your capabilities versus you yourself? You should know yourself better than ChatGPT. You can tailor your resume much better than ChatGPT. So if everyone is going to do it, the recruiter is going to get 80 resumes. All of them look alike because all of them were made by ChatGPT. So this is not an expert tip. You should be original. You have to stand out from the crowd. So please avoid such expert tips on editing your resume, making use of AI. Even if you do, make sure that you humanize the language that ChatGPT has generated, right? You might have your own way of expressing your experiences and writing. You should always tailor ChatGPT outputs, even if you're using it, to make sure that you humanize, you put your own writing style into it and not just blindly take the output from ChatGPT and use it to apply on a specific job. So, my answer to this question, can I use AI to tailor my resume? Well, it is a yes and a no both. You can use AI, but make sure you personalize your resume. Make sure you edit it so that it sounds like you were the one who created this resume and not ChatGPT. Now, how about the ATS score? The person who sent this question also attached an image, and they attached just one image, not two. They just attached this image, and they said that there was this post by some resume writer who said this resume has an ATS score of 90. Hiring managers spend only 15 to 30 seconds reviewing a resume. So what everyone should do is they should tailor the resume so that it scores high on ATS score. Now, this question is in direct conflict with the first question. The first question was, can people use AI to tailor the resume? If you are using AI to tailor your resume, you can ask AI to make sure that your resume scores high on ATS. Then why would you need a resume writer? But the second point is this news item that I would want to share. Google's VO3 AI video generator is unlike anything you have ever seen. The world isn't ready. And this is a screenshot from an AI generated video. So, my question to you is, do you really think that the ATS system is so dumb in an AI age where you can create realistic looking videos? Do you think ATS is so dumb that it cannot even parse all the text, that it won't be able to read if you write your text in your resume in some sort of a table and not single line text? Do you really think that is possible? Do you think if you put in a picture of yourself here in your resume, the ATS is going to score your resume low? Do you really think that is possible in a world where AI is generating this? Can't it look at your image and figure out that this is an image of a person? So my question again is, why are you worried about stuff that does not even matter in today's age? If AI can do this, why can't AI parse a resume which has an ATS score of 10, right? So now I know this comes from someone who is a resume writer, so I'm assuming that they are trying to sell their services, and I'm totally fine with it. If you think that this is something you should spend your money on, if it gives you confidence to appear in interviews, definitely go ahead and do that. But again, my question remains the same. Do you really think ATS system in this age of AI is so dumb that it won't be able to read text if you put it in table, or it won't be able to score your resume higher if you put a picture of yourself? So just think about this. Okay, let's talk about the other question. There are other study plans that guarantee PMP in less than 50 days. Guarantee. Why do you think it takes 50 days? Now, this question comes from the fact that we have a 50-day PMP study plan on our website, right? Now, our 50-day study plan is not like you spend 50-day watching reels and you'll be able to pass the PMP exam. It's not like that. We ask people to spend at least 24 hours every week for 7 weeks, right? 49 days. Every week, spend at least 24 hours studying, and then on the 50th day, you should be able to pass your PMP exam. That's all the 50-day PMP plan is all about. Now, it is possible that you spend more hours, more than 24 hours every single week, and you be able to pass your PMP exam in less time than what we suggest, right? 50 days. This is based on my own experience and based on the thousands of our community members that have passed their PMP exam using our 50-day plan, right? So obviously, this is not something which is set in stone that you will take 50 days to pass your PMP exam. You can do it earlier. My problem is the next thing that I read, which basically follows such plans of 10 days and 15 days and 20 days, and that is that, hey, I will help you pass your PMP exam in 10 days without reading a book. I mean, come on now. Every time I see this, I feel like, damn, are you churning out PMPs from an assembly line every 10 days? Is that what you are doing? Is that what you are after? What exactly is PMP for you? Is it just a piece of paper, a certification that you can obtain and then the world will be a better place? It's not like that. PMP is project management professional, someone who is a professional in their job. If you just study about project management for 10 days, how can you aim to become a professional in this field? So this is my problem. And every time I read that, without reading a book, I just go nuts. I lose my mind, right? Like, you have no idea about project management even after passing the PMP, because you never read a single damn book about PM. If you pass your PMP exam using all those tricks, right? Read the last sentence first, never escalate, and all those tricks that people sort of suggest on YouTube and on articles, that, hey, never answer these 5 kind of questions this way to pass your PMP exam and whatnot. I mean, there's a lot of garbage out there. But, even if you pass the PMP using all those tips and tricks, do you think you will become a better project manager in real life after you are done with your PMP? The answer is an absolute no. All these advice are total BS. It can maybe help you pass the PMP exam, but it will not help you in the real world. And I know so many people fail the PMP exam because they never read the book. They never read anything about project management. They just try to answer questions based on all these tips and tricks and mindset and all that BS that is out there. I would say totally avoid this, right? Even if you want to pass your PMP exam in 10 days, at least read a single damn book. At least know what project management is all about. Don't just go by answering questions and, applying some tips and tricks to answer and all that, right? Don't do that. Project managers who don't want to read about project management should actually be questioning their life choices. Why exactly are you a project manager? Why is this a career option for you when you don't even want to read about this career, right? You don't even want to read what project managers do, what project management really is. So, I mean, if you are someone who is a project manager, you should be reading about project management. You shouldn't be running away from project management books. Tomorrow, if you're a project manager and you get a new project and you get a project charter, which is, let's say, 3 pages long, will you read it? Will you be able to read 3 pages? Because you don't like to read. And what about you get a project management plan that is like 80 pages long, 80-page PDF? How will you read that? So, how are you going to perform as a project manager in real life if you don't even like to read about projects or read about project management? I'm always flabbergasted whenever I, read or hear somebody saying that you can pass PMP without reading a book. I mean, more power to you, but yeah, that's not something that I would ever suggest anyone. Folks that pass PMP like these, they cannot pass their project management interviews. When you are sitting in an interview, the interviewer doesn't care what kind of certification you have. They ask you questions around project management, and all the knowledge that you have is tips and tricks on how to answer questions, not project management, what real project management looks like. Now, even if you pass a job interview, or let's say you already are a project manager and you get yourself the PMP certification by following these tips and tricks of the gurus, now do you think you have become a better project manager? Absolutely not, because you don't even know what project management is. You don't even know the basic concepts of project management because you just passed an exam using some tips and tricks. So what happens then is you get stuck at a certain level, at a certain salary, because companies pay for performance. Companies pay for the value you bring to the table. Companies do not pay you for certifications. So that is another problem that may happen, right? In fact, check a video that I did about, it's a funny video about someone who thinks PMP can get them a job. So it will be linked in the description if you want to check that. Let's move to the next question. Let me share my screen. So question number 4 that we are taking up today is 33% salary increase realistic after PMP? And this person, the question that I received was based on a video, and they had shared the link to that video. And I've just taken a screenshot and I've deliberately hidden the person who was talking in this video. But this question talks about 33% salary increase after PMP, because this person who made this video had these 4 claims. All of these are tall, baseless claims. So this is absolutely horrendous, to be honest. 33% salary increase after you're done with your P. So you should ask them, if they don't take up the PMP preparation class that this person offers, will they still get 33% increase? I'm pretty sure the answer will be no. But anyways, this is not something which is realistic. It is not something which is practical. It's not like you pass your PMP exam and you go to your manager, hey, I've got myself the PMP certification, and they say, oh, that's great, here's your 33% salary hike. Nobody is going to give you even a 1% hike if you don't bring value to the table, right? If you pass your PMP exam by simply some tips and tricks and without the knowledge of project management, you do not become a better project manager. And that means you cannot bring enough value to the company so that they give you more money. So this is absolutely false. This does not happen. AI proof, again, pretty false, because nobody is AI proof out there, right? AI is trying to help every single job role out there. So just because you have PMP does not mean you are AI proof. Absolutely wrong. Remote hybrid, absolutely wrong once again. Any job out there can be remote hybrid based on what the company wants. So it doesn't really matter whether you are a PMP certified project manager or not. It's not like you used to go to the office 5 days a week and then one day you passed your PMP exam and then your manager came in and said, hey, you are PMP, you can work remotely or you can work hybrid. That is not how it works. So this again is absolutely false. And then any industry, this is also false. Although a lot of people tend to think that since PMP is industry agnostic, having a PMP means they can get a project manager job in any industry. This is far, far, far away from truth. Now, let me share an example. Let's say you are the owner of a software company and you are looking for a project manager, and you need a project manager with 5 years of experience and PMP certified, right? Now there's someone who applies to your company who is PMP certified, who has 5 years of experience, but all their experience has been in construction projects. How comfortable will you be as the owner of this software company to hire someone with 5 years of experience in the construction industry just because they have a piece of paper that says PMP? So I'm telling you, you are not going to hire this person. You will always prefer someone who has experience in your own industry. So just because PMP is industry agnostic does not mean that you can go ahead and switch industries just like that. So all of these four claims are absolutely false. And I'm pretty sure this person is also going to say that these claims are false if you don't take or enroll for their class. Okay, let's take up the last question. Which PMP book to read for PMP preparation? I know there's a lot of confusion out there, and I think Pimba Guide Edition 7 is at the center of all these confusion. The reason is that PMP exam, the meat and potato of PMP exam, is the process groups, the knowledge areas, the processes, the ITTOs, right? You don't have to memorize them for sure, but this is where most of the questions from the traditional side come from. And this book has none of it. This book just has eight performance domains, right? So this is what you are going to find in this book, performance domains. By the way, we've done a video on all the performance domains. If you want to check that out, linked in the description below. But the questions that you're going to face in the exam will more likely come from this book. This is PMBOK 6 renamed to Process Groups, a practice guide, because PMI realized that, hey, although we put out PMBOK 7, questions come from this book because this is what project managers do. So PMBOK 7 is okay, but you should read it. But this is a must-read book. Process Groups, a practice guide, because you will get to know the meat and potato of the PMP exam, specifically traditional approach project management from this book only. And then there's something to do with Agile. So you should have a book on Agile, be it Agile Practice Guide or any other Agile reference book, so that you can learn about Agile also. 50% of the exam is going to be Agile. Now, I would also like to pitch in our PMP exam book recommendation system. This is something that we recently created. It's available on pmclounge.com/PMP book. I'll share a direct link in the description below if you want to go over. This is basically a short questionnaire. It asks you three questions based on what your study style is, based on what kind of practice you would prefer, and what is your focus when it comes to the exam. So it will ask you three simple questions. Those are objective questions, and based on your answer, this recommendation system is going to recommend a book for you. All the books that this recommendation engine recommends have been personally read by me, have been reviewed by me, and a lot of our community members have already made use of these books. So definitely check the recommendation system out. None of the books referred into the recommendation system has anything to do with me. So they are all the books that are available out there, and you can definitely go ahead and check that out. So that's all that we had in this first Q&A session. If you have any questions that you want me to answer in the next Q&A session, then drop it in the comments below, or you can send an email to admin@pmclounge.com if you want to share links or images or snapshots or whatever, right? So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.